Catholic Mobilizing Network works to end the use of the death penalty and promotes restorative justice. Let the Church always be a place of mercy and hope.
Prior to 2007, I believed that our society's worst criminals deserved the ultimate punishment. I still believe in proportionality in punishment, and I still believe in the law. However, after serving as a juror in the capital trial of James Cook for the murder of Lindsay Bonestall, I became an ardent supporter of abolishing capital punishment. My name is Stewart. I am a 62-year-old retired chemistry teacher. I have voted for both Republicans and Democrats. I am a father, a wrestling coach, and an ultramarathon runner. I believe that I represent many, perhaps most of you, in seeking a measured middle road to solving our political and social challenges. But one day I received a summons to appear for jury service. Shortly thereafter, I was one of 15 jurors selected for the capital murder trial of James Cook. My fellow jurors were a desirable cross-section of our society. I am a teacher. There was an accountant, a lawyer, an elementary school teacher, various office workers, union members, men and women, young and old, and black and white. We were just regular folks. Then the trial started. Opening statements focused us on our task. We were to determine the facts of the case, render a verdict, and ultimately decide whether Mr. Cook should die for his crime. Of course, as with all other jurors, we were instructed to shut off all communications with the rest of the world, and we all complied. We sat for hours each day contemplating and analyzing the murder of Lindsay Bonestall. We sat for hours each day contemplating and analyzing the childhood, social development, and ultimate destruction of a child turned murderer. Fine, regular people, your friends and neighbors, set about to do the job that society set before them. We immersed ourselves for weeks in the details of a violent murder, to experience sleepless nights rehashing testimony and not talk of it. All the while, isolated from normal life. We rendered a verdict. James Cook was guilty as charged. Let there be no doubt, he is guilty. He did it. The evidence was overwhelming, and we unanimously agreed beyond any reasonable doubt. And then, when we were completely immersed in this emotional hell of violent detail, we were then required to swiftly decide whether James Cook should die for his crime. The law made it easy. While some encouraged us to be the conscience of the community, the law required us to weigh facts, just as we weighed facts in deciding guilt. We were presented with aggravating circumstances, and we were presented with mitigating circumstances. Thus, the decision became mathematical in nature, and we decided that the weight of evidence came down on the side of death. Yet the balance sheet approach to our decision did not really eliminate any emotional response, if only it had. But the sobbing of jurors that became stronger with every death vote counted belies this wish, and thus I became a killer too. It was legal, and it was my duty, but I felt sick. For days, I was unable to joke with friends or sleep at night. For weeks, I was unable to stop reliving that singular moment when I wrote death on a tiny slip of paper. For months, I awoke every night from unrelenting and vivid dreams of James Cook's execution. I followed, and still follow, every element of Cook's appeal. I will never be the same. And even though I know that I did nothing wrong, I will always carry the stain of one who has killed a fellow human. As a society, we must punish people for their crimes. We must protect our children from violent offenders. Imprisonment accomplishes these goals without turning innocent folks into accomplices to the premeditated killing of an individual. I submit that those with no personal experience in this process fail to recognize the inconceivable burden that we place on the innocent participants in capital trials. I submit that the real harm we do to our innocent grandmas, children, neighbors, and public servants outweighs any potential benefit that society might derive from the vengeful killing of criminals. The calculus of killing a criminal in exchange for the emotional and mental well-being of numerous blameless citizens of society at large is flawed. So let's end capital punishment, not for the criminal, but for ourselves.
Catholic Mobilizing Network to end the use of the death penalty and promote restorative justice.